Wanderer's Palace. Lost to time for some 15 centuries, this Nemean palace, dedicated to the wandering god of Ocean, slept beneath the waters of the Bronze Lake until the seventh umbral calamity brought about the collapse of the land surrounding the lake, revealing the palace as its waters drained. While many a treasure hunter ravenously set upon this newly discovered bounty, none would return, having met their ends at the little green hands of the palace's cursed inhabitants. Hi, I'm Tyler, Final Fantasy XIV player and amateur bartender, and I've made it my mission to craft a cocktail for every dungeon in the game, and today we're doing the Wanderer's Palace. Welcome to a Cocktail Reborn. Let's get started. Ever since people realized you could ignore the puzzle mechanics in Sunken Temple of Karn, Wanderer's Palace has been my favorite A Realm Reborn dungeon, because there's no getting around this puzzle. Tonberry oil lamps aside, the other thing I really enjoy about it is the soft timer of the Tonberry Stalkers. Take too long progressing in any one part of the first or third sections of the dungeon, and you may just meet your end at the hands of the biggest Tonberry you've ever seen. And with a minimum item level of 45, there was a good chance that you'd be going in with low enough DPS that those Tonberry Stalkers were a very real threat. I thought about incorporating the other bosses in this dungeon, the Gooboo, the Pudding, into the drink, but let's face it, this is the Tonberry dungeon, and the Tonberry King is adorable. So my inspiration starts and stops there. Ever since the Tonberry debuted in Final Fantasy V, it's been known for its chef's knife. And when I think of killers that use a chef's knife, I think of Norman Bates in Psycho. As a millennial, it should probably be Scream, really, but as a film buff, Hitchcock's always going to trump Craven. Sorry. And there just happens to be a drink called the Psycho Killer that makes for perfect inspiration. The drink was created in 2014 by Gillian Vose for the Dead Rabbit in New York. And while I was concocting this drink, I was trying to think of drink formats I'd not tried for the channel, and realized I'd neglected one of my favorite styles of drink, the sour. So, we'll be adapting this great cocktail into something befitting our tiny, menacing monsters. Let's craft. As this palace dates back to the 5th Astral Era, I wanted a base spirit with some age on it, and bourbon ages for a minimum of 5 years, so that's my starting point. I use Old Forester 100 proof. I find it has a mellow but distinct flavor that lends itself well to mixing. The key ingredient in a Psycho Killer is a cacao-infused Campari, and since it's bright red, I figured I'd use it to represent the king's coat. To help offset the bitterness of the Campari, and to help keep things red, I'll be adding cherry Heering. Sweet and sour, cherry Heering adds a lot of depth to this. The Tonberries themselves wear distinctive brown robes, so I wanted a brown ingredient. The original Psycho Killer used white creme de cacao, and if there's one flavor combo I love, it's cherry and chocolate. So I'm using regular brown creme de cacao. I didn't like any of the options at my liquor store, so I made my own. To represent the burning rage of the Rancor these cursed creatures are slaves to, I've added some jalapeno syrup. This will add just enough heat to tickle your tonsils without becoming the dominant flavor. This wouldn't be a sour without citrus, and I love how bourbon and lemon juice work together, so that's what I'm using here. And finally, to help recreate the fur lining of the king's robe, we'll need an egg white. Into your shaker, add 1 ounce of lemon juice, half an ounce of jalapeno syrup, 1/4 ounce of creme de cacao, half an ounce cherry Heering, 3/4 of an ounce cacao-infused Campari, and 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Crack an egg and add the egg white to the other cup of the shaker. Dry shake for 30 seconds or more to build up a good froth. Then add ice and shake for 10 seconds. Double strain into a coupe and let it build a head. Add 5 to 6 drops of chocolate bitters to reflect the brown spots on the fur of the king's robe. While the drink is building a head, let's construct the garnish. Take a jalapeno and cut off the end, about an inch. Push 2 cloves into the flesh for eyes. Then cut a 1/4 inch disc off the other end of the jalapeno near the stem. Cut away the flesh so you're left with the spongy interior. This will be the base of the crown. Using a cocktail pick, start with a cherry, then the crown base, and pin them to the top of the head. My coupe has a little divot at the bottom, which is the perfect resting place for the end of my pin. And here we have the Wanderer's Palace. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. So first thing you get, if you leave the garnish in, is you get the smell of the jalapeno and the clove, and it's very pleasant. I was not expecting that. I've tried this several times without the garnish in, but with the garnish in, that's a nice olfactory addition. Let's go in again. I got a little sidetracked by the garnish. So the first thing you get is the chocolate and cherry, which does not upset me. Then you get the bitterness of the Campari, and you get the very familiar flavors of the bourbon and the lemon together. If you like a whiskey sour, which I do. It's one of the first ones I started making when I seriously got into cocktails. Oh, and then as you drink it, you don't really taste it up front other than a bit of vegetal notes here and there. But the jalapeno syrup, the capsaicin, just kind of starts to build up on your tongue. It's nice. I like that. It's a nice warming feeling. And then, of course, you get that very nice, rich texture you can only get from a good egg white cocktail. I've never tried aquafaba. I have tried Fee's foam, and it doesn't work the same. You don't get that same texture, even if you do get the head. Yep, that spice is definitely building up. Yep. Oh, it's in the back of my throat now. That's good. Ooh, I like that. That's fun. Yeah, this is really great, especially if you like a sour. Chocolate and cherry, fantastic combination. There's a reason that Cherry Garcia is the most popular brand of Ben & Jerry's. You know, I've made this like 5 or 6 times trying to get the formula down, and I'm not angry every time I drink it. No. I think this one's going into regular rotation. I love a good sour, and I haven't made a sour in a long time, whiskey sour or not. So I'm really glad I made this, and I think you'll be really glad if you make it too. And that is the Wanderer's Palace. Please leave a comment if you decide to make this drink. I made this to my personal tastes, so your mileage may vary. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked the video, and stay tuned for the next one, which will be Castrum Meridianum. And until then, may Ocean watch over your wanderings. I got the right god this time. Cheers.